Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Tales from Retail Reddit video. A customer wants an item delivered to his home, but is outraged when I ask him his address. It's my first post on Reddit here, but binging all these posts reminds me of an incident that took place back in 2013 when I was working at a branch of a large upmarket department store chain in South London. I've moved on from this job a long time ago now, so please do forgive me if some of the details are a bit hazy, but here's the gist. A couple of blokes from Eastern Europe came in wanting to buy a kettle and asking what the options were for them to pick it up later. One of them did not speak. I suspect his English was not good. The other had reasonable English, and I explained that they could pick it up right away as we had them in stock. If they wanted to, they could pick it up later in the day from Click and Collect, or for a fee we could deliver it to their address provided the address was in the UK or Ireland. They chose the delivery option. I put in the details of what they wanted to buy into the computer and came to the section where I had to put in delivery details. That's where the fun began. The conversation went something like this. "Could I ask your address, please?" "Why do you want to know my address?" "Because you said you wanted it delivered." "But why do you need to know my address?" That is how we know where to deliver your package. Otherwise, we won't know where to deliver it." "But it's your job to know these things." "It's my job to ask you. I'm not a psychic and I don't automatically know your address." "But I don't feel comfortable giving my address out. I don't know you and I want to preserve my privacy." "I understand that, sir, but if you won't give me your address, then I can't have your kettle delivered to you. There are 20 million addresses in the UK, and if I pick one at random, chances are it won't be yours. Now, either you can tell me your address, or you can pick it up at the Click and Collect, or you can take it with you now." "You're an idiot." At that point, I had enough, and his insult was a good enough pretext to end the conversation. I informed him that I was not going to be taking personal abuse and that I would not be serving him further. He muttered something to his friend in their language and moved away. Thankfully, I never saw him again. No doubt he went on to annoy some other underpaid customer service guy with his tomfoolery until he got his kettle. Little boy turned my joke around on me. I work in the self-checkout of a retail store. I like working evenings as then I have time to talk to customers. I really enjoy talking to the kids, and one night around 8 o'clock, a woman and her 7 or 8-year-old son came in. He was doing that kid thing where they pull their arms into their t-shirt and pretend they don't have arms. I jokingly told him that it looked like his arms fell off and I had seen a pair on the floor in aisle 5. I know it's a dumb joke, but I am a dad. This young man looks me dead in the eye and says in a gruff voice, "I lost them in the war." It was so perfect. I thought I was going to hurt myself laughing so hard. When I got myself under control, the mother looked at me and said, "He's always like this." I really hope they come back. I can't wait to see what else he has to say. If you're going to tell different stories to con staff members, you should probably ensure they're actually different people. I used to work in a little thrift store, basically half of a converted house. The other half housed the offices for the charity the store benefited. Mostly we had very low prices, especially for clothing. We were lower than any of the other thrift stores in town. This was simply because we got so much clothing donated and had so little space to put it that it was more profitable to sell inexpensively as quickly as possible. And we set one price for each type of clothing. For example, all t-shirts were $1, so we didn't have to spend money or time tagging them. Which brings us to the lady with the $2 skirt. I was putting out clothes on the racks, aiming for our usual level of minimally disorganized, when this lady held up a long skirt to show me. I said something about it being very nice, and she said, "Well, I was just thinking about getting it because I have a pillow I want to recover, and if I went to a fabric store, this much fabric of this quality would probably cost me $18. I said something about that being quite clever and how lucky it was she found a skirt that she liked that had enough fabric. but I didn't think much of it and continued putting out the rest of the clothes that I had. About 10 minutes later, when I'm going to the back to get some more clothes to put out, the lady who was sitting at the front desk taking money asked me if I would watch the desk for a couple minutes while she went to the bathroom. So I happened to be sitting there as the lady with the skirt walks up and sets it down. As I'm taking the hanger off, she says, "So I was wondering if there's any flexibility on the price, because I'm just going to use the fabric and it seems like a lot to just use some of the fabric." At first, I thought she was joking. Then I realized she really didn't recognize me as the person she had just spoken to, and she was quite serious. I just laughed and said, "Really? You just told me that this was at least $18 worth of fabric and what a great buy it was." There was a moment of stunned silence as she actually looked at me and realized that I was the same person, then a rather defeated, "Oh." A customer gets mad that I don't know her PIN number. Okay, so if you're in the UK, you'll know that the contactless card limit is going up to £100. Not sure when, it hasn't yet, and this is what this story is about. The current limit is £45. A lady and her equally dim husband come up to my till. I'm 17 and I work in retail as a weekend job. Their shopping comes to around £70. I can't remember, but it was definitely more than £45. The lady tries to tap her card. I tell her that unfortunately, the contactless limit is £45, so she will need to insert her card. She says, "No, it went up to £100, and attempts to tap it again. I tell her that it was announced that the limit is going to go up to £100, but it hasn't yet. And even if it had, our tills don't support it yet. She then says she doesn't know her PIN number. I was like, "Okay, well, do you have another way to pay?" Then she starts raising her voice at me. She asks me to tell her what her PIN number is. "Since you're the one that's making me put a number in, you can tell me what it is." I tell her that, unfortunately, I don't know her PIN number. She can either find another way to pay, put some stuff back, or leave the shop. She then says, "I know my PIN number will come up on your screen when I put my card in, so tell me what it is." Then she again claims that I'm lying about the limit not being £100 yet. Anyway, surprise, surprise, she asks to speak to my manager, who comes over and tells her all the same things I just told her. The best part of the story? She then pulls out a wad of cash and gives it to me, so it wasn't like she didn't have another way to pay for her merchandise. Also, the entire time this was happening, her husband just stood there like a lemon. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe. And make sure you click on that notifications bell so that YouTube will actually, present my videos to you. I would love for you to drop a like, to share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.